Missing plane. That plane that we're missing is I know, crashed everything. The beacon went down, crashed everything. Did you know Chase Glenn? Yeah. All the time. Like literally I didn't listen to
I'm really proud of this one.
Oh, tell me.
House arrest animals.
Yeah. That's
Chase King?
That's definitely. What, he has house arrest?
You didn't know that?
No. Right now?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is technically the only
You know
thing
him,
that's allowed to
don't
be
you?
out.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, some
So-
kid was messing with
So house arrest is a way to make sure that people that aren't supposed to be out and about are actually where they're supposed to be. Make sure you're including Junior in your conversations too, okay?
They're not.
Well, you also need to pay attention because you were looking over there at that moment. So make sure you're paying attention over here, okay?
Yeah, some kid tried to hit his mom, and he hit him with a baseball bat, and they put him on house arrest.
Wow. So house arrest is definitely a way that we can track different locations. Not that he's a criminal, but right now he is a juvenile that has done, created an offense that he's not supposed to do, right? So his punishment is he has to stay about. What happens if he moves outside of that location of his house?
Beep, 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 beep.
Right, and then that's going to alert the police. So that's a way that we can kind of keep track of our criminals. That's a really good one. Okay?
I was very proud. What do you have to go to the store and you're on house arrest?
You can't go. You're not allowed.
Can you starve and die?
What are you guys thinking over here? What's a good one you've come up with?
Oh, lost phones.
Yeah, and that's kind of like a school issue, right? Don't sometimes people steal each other's phones around here? I don't know why they would, but
That's
okay.
why you should never give your combination for your life.
So what about the lost phone though? What is it? What happens? What does it do?
Well, I guess there's like a GPS tracking on your phone that tracks out another phone.
Yeah.
And then it tells you where your phone is located?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you can
That's a
get
good
different apps.
idea.
I was also thinking of lost zoo animals.
It's a what?
Lost zoo animals.
Lost animals?
Like lost zoo.
Yeah, because all of those, that's a really good one. All of those animals are tracked, right? At least I think they are, but that would be a definite good way to make sure that you knew where they were. Absolutely. Randy, what'd you come up with?
Finding people, traveling
Different places to visit. You can kind of navigate through. You can use Google Earth, right? If you wanted to see something ahead of time before you actually go there. That's a good one. What are you guys coming up with over here?
Finding missing animals, children,
Yeah.
finding cities and buildings, and
Yeah, if you're just trying to navigate to something, right? And
fixing this one bothering me.
that's fine. I know Randy over there was saying that trying to look at a city before you visit it, to go on vacation, you could use Google Earth. Okay. I was hearing some really, really great conversations. Let's talk though. I want you guys to choose one out of all of yours that we're going to talk about in class here for just a second, okay? I'd love to hear everybody's, but let's just go ahead and first start with one because I want to make sure we have enough time to do everything, okay? So we're out of here at 10:07. Great, we have a lot of time. Table one, what was your number one that you thought was a great idea, or at least one of your great ideas?
We wrote down global warming.
Global warming?
I think
think you should have Destiny explain it really good.
Okay, Destiny, go ahead and explain it really loud. No, that's good. I want to hear it because I haven't heard this one yet. What do you think?
Track down polar bears in the northern part.
Okay, I'm going to pause for a second because here's the thing. There are people in the back of the room that are talking and they're not listening. Okay, all eyes should be on Destiny because we're trying to have a group conversation, okay? I don't want to have to stop and have this conversation right now. Okay, so if you could be really loud though, Destiny, because they probably can't hear you. They didn't know you were talking, okay? Real loud.
How I track down animals that are in trouble in the northern parts, like, what's it called? Canada and all that stuff.
So somewhere up north. So her idea, if you didn't hear her, Junior, you focus, was to track different animals. Perhaps you were saying specifically polar bears, right? And you were talking about global warming and kind of just to see, are there a lack of polar bears out there because of the warming conditions? Anybody think of that? I know a couple of you said to locate animals. How many people thought of that in their groups? A couple different groups? Good. I think that's a fantastic idea. It's definitely impacting society. Absolutely. What about this table right here? What's your idea?
Losing phones.
What's that?
Losing phones.
Losing phones, right? What about losing phones
It's like an everyday thing.
here at school? So it's kind of like a school problem, right? So what's happening? Are people stealing your phones out of your locker or you're just losing them? How many people have lost their phone here at school or anywhere? Okay? How many people have used a certain kind of app, tracking device to find that phone? Did it work?
No. Yeah.
So yes, no? It's amazing if it did work. That's awesome. What about you? Has anyone ever gotten their phones stolen at school? Stolen in life? How about that? Wow. So having that app on the phone is kind of nice, right? How many people actually located their phone that was stolen because of a tracking device? So see, it worked out really great for you. So one of our school problems here that's affecting society is people losing their phones because today's, age, that's all we're doing is checking our phones and using our phones for different things.
We had a good challenge too to using the GPS that we use to find our phones.
What's that?
Wrong places.
What's that?
Like the GPS score taking you wrong places.
Yes. Yes. Do you know, she said the GPS taking you, Mackenzie? Jacob? The GPS taking you to the wrong spot. Now, that has happened to me before because I do drive. And I was just thinking, oh, you know what? It's actually down at UC because I don't really know where to go around there sometimes. I'm like, the GPS will get me there. And I didn't even look ahead at the directions. Okay, somehow it was having me go down in Rob's neck of the woods. It was on the west side of town, and I wasn't even anywhere near the city. So I didn't even look at my phone. I just ended up in the wrong spot. So has that happened to you before, your parents? Your mom?
It's happened to me before in a cab.
In a cab?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was supposed to go to the dentist and it took me down here by the school.
See, it happens all the time. What about you guys?
Car accidents?
What about car accidents?
What's that thing?
Oh, the OnStar. Ooh, I'm gonna write that one down. I haven't heard that one today. Okay, have you guys heard of OnStar? Maybe you've seen the commercials for it. Basically, does someone in your family have it or something? You can, in the newer cars, you can call OnStar. Actually, your car talks to you and says, hey, I noticed that you have a flat tire. Do you want me to call somebody for you to come change your tire for you or whatever? And they send people because they know where you're located, okay? And then they send someone to fix you up. And there's other things too, like lock your keys in the car. But it's sensors, basically, that use different locations to try to figure it out. That's a good one. Nice. What do you guys think?
Hurricane Downer to find places to visit.
I like that, to find places to visit. We all, last week, we used Google Earth, right? Yeah. And we kind of flew over the different places. I took you to Paris. I took you to the Great Wall of China. I took you to the Great Pyramids, the Egyptian pyramids. I mean, we probably wouldn't get to go there, right, if we didn't have navigational tools like that. But I like what you're thinking, too. If you want to visit a place, maybe fly over it first using any kind of GPS and see what it looks like. Or you can just, get directions, right, if you actually are going to go there. Great job. What are you guys thinking? Yeah, you guys were talking about lost bones and lost animals, right?
Zoo and animals.
Yes, I like that. In our zoo, to try to make sure that we know where our animals are located, just in case something escapes, I hope it wouldn't, but it might happen someday. They are tracked, okay? And them being tracked right there is awesome because we can track them down by using the different GPS signals to find out where they are. Good. What about you guys over here? You guys had a good one.
Our best one was the house arrest St. Louis.
So different criminals, a form of punishment, instead of them being in jail, maybe they didn't do a crime that was, as severe as someone being in jail. House arrest. Anybody ever seen that before without telling a story? Okay. Basically what it is a GPS device around your ankle. And the court tells you, hey, you're in trouble. We're not putting you in jail, but we're making you stay in your house at all times. And people are like, I can leave my house if I want. No. This little device, it makes sure that you stay on your property, and if you leave, it will beep. So it's a way of locating where this criminal is, making sure they stay put, and if they leave the little perimeter of the house, then they'll get in trouble. Okay, the police will notify the police, and then now the police have been alerted. So that's another way of locating people. So you guys all had a lot of different ones that my first period had. My first period also talked about, they talked about tracking people. They also talked about how, like a search area for criminals, maybe not even using GPS, but perhaps like if you have somebody that robs a house and Israel, if somebody that robs a house, they go out and one of the people, the citizens, they say, I saw that person over by Kroger. So the police, they take a map and they mark Kroger. Oh, but I saw him over by McDonald's. They'll mark McDonald's. I saw him by the library, and they'll mark the library. So they have a search area and they can look for this person in a search area. It's actually how they found the Boston bomber. Another thing that they were saying, we said dogs that are microchipped. They said, a lot of people were saying like the military enemies. Junior, I need you to quit talking, please. A lot of times when people talk and we're having good conversation, it throws us off track. Okay, so I need to focus so I can talk, and you need to focus so you can listen. Military, we talked about that earlier, finding the enemies. House arrest, that was something I had never heard someone bring up. But, this one was brought up. Say you go into a jewelry store and there's a criminal and they rob the jewelry store. They take the most expensive diamond that there is. Guess what? That expensive diamond probably has a tracker on it. They steal it, they drive off. They can drive 1,000 miles away. That piece of jewelry is on somebody's location screen, so they know where that's at. So don't be there doing that. So yeah. Oh, and another one person said the weather. I think that's a good one with society. We're always, how many people, if you have an event, you're trying to look up what the weather is looking like? Yeah, radar, people. Radar is something that, we always try to track the location of hurricanes, of storms, or what type of heat it's going to be today. These are things that are impacting our society, okay? I think we had one for school, city, state, country. I think the world one, we did talk about the military. I think it's really important that we understand that, we're working together as a world, when we're in well, I guess not if we're in war, but things like research for space research. We're going to different planets. We're visiting the moon. We've got these satellites out there in space, okay? These are world societal impacts happening for everybody. Okay, now that I got you talking, it's time to talk about our project. So we are going to be doing a project next week, and I want you guys to have some input as to what it's going to be. You guys are going to help me come up with the project, and we're going to do that by the conversations we're going to have, okay? We've learned about transformations. We've learned about coordinate grids. We've related them to GPSs and how GPSs work to track things down, okay? So now that you know that, I want you to think about what type of project would you want to do having all of those factors in the project. We're going to think of some things called essential questions, okay? We're going to explore those essential questions and create a challenge. A challenge is also called a project, but a challenge means something that we can do to find more answers about. So think of a question you'd like to know more answers about that we could find those answers by doing a research project, okay? We could explore something. So for example, the other day, when I was coming up with a project for you guys, I said, one of the questions I thought of was, can we use our smartphones to find latitude and longitude? So I looked it up, I researched, and I said, yes, we can. There's this little X-Note activity, and then I had you guys out there searching for, what was your definitions for your vocab, okay? But it was still navigating and find latitude and longitude.